The year is 1999. Or maybe 2000? I don't really know. I'm like 4 or 5 years old, staying at my grandparents' house. I'm anxiously dancing outside the bathroom door, waiting for my turn to go pee-pee. When my grandma sees me, walks over to me, and asks me that timeless question that every single person gets asked when they're a kid, you know? Hey, Ethan, what do you want to be when you grow up? She obviously doesn't sound like that. I actually have pretty young grandparents, but for the sake of funny noises, let's just pretend she does. What do you want to be when you grow up? And without a question in my head, and probably the most confidence I have ever had in my life, I answered 2 things. A cat or a volcano. Now, you could probably imagine the disappointment on my face when I found out many years later that that was not exactly how the world worked. Turns out, you cannot just become one of our furry little feline friends, or a pointy rock filled with lava, as willy-nilly as you would sign up for a zipline tour in Hawaii or something. But thankfully, video games exist. Obviously, Stray isn't the first game to feature a cute kitty protagonist for us gamers to enjoy playing as. Blinx and the Great Vacuum of Time and Space Jam is a classic. There's also Mario 3D World, which is largely built around Mario turning into a cat to traverse through the game. Skyrim, you basically either played as a cat or Shrek. Get out of here! This is my swamp, bitch! Cat Dog Quest for the Golden Hydrant let you play as half a cat. There's also those Klonoa games, which I played pretty recently. I think that thing was supposed to be a cat. There are a lot of cat games, is the point that I'm trying to make. But what's confusing is, you don't really do cat things in these games. You just sort of play as characters that look like cats, but the actual actions they make don't really bear resemblance to anything cats actually do. Here, check this out. Blinx, you run around with a vacuum that sucks up objects and can manipulate time. I'm pretty sure cats don't do that. Klonoa runs around inflating enemies and hucking those enemies at other enemies or using them to double jump. No. Cat Dog, you play as a dog, which is like the literal opposite thing than a cat. Nuh-uh. Cat goes fishing? No, not unless there's a goldfish in the house. Cat Quest? No. Cat Quest 2? Double no. Cattails? Not even close. Pfft, come on. You kidding me? The closest that we had come to experiencing the great question of what is it like to be a cat is in probably Super Mario 3D World. And that's only true because of how realistic Mario's cat mustache is. Stray is the ultimate cat game that has managed to scratch that itch of actually bringing to life my childhood dream of becoming a cat. You can walk like a cat, run like a cat, jump like a cat, land from a fall like a cat, drink water like a cat, meow like a cat, sleep like a cat, trip people like a cat, ruin fun board games like a cat. Uh-oh. Sorry. Scratch the shit out of furniture like a cat. Look at this. When the cat gets this vest thing put on his body, he does that weird thing that cats do when they go full, like, worm mode for whatever reason, because they don't know how to function when something is around their bodies. It's fucking hilarious. You can clearly tell the developers are very much cat-loving people who really did their homework on the overall cat experience. Now, outside of being a cat, the game is still pretty fun. Personally, I would have been totally fine if the devs were like, hey, this is a blank sandbox where you can run around and be a cat. That's it. I would have been like, okay, cool, I'll take 14 of your finest copies, please. But there's also an immersive and interesting world filled with some fun characters like Doc here, who needs 1.21 gigawatts for his flux capacitor, and this guy who can't work unless he has a blanket, which is pretty funny. and this dickhead. And it's all done with some amazing visual storytelling that makes experiencing it through the eyes of a cat so much more engaging and unique than it would be done through the perspective of not a cat. However, here's the thing. If you're expecting some challenges, I hate to break it to you, but you're probably not going to get it. The platforming, if you can call it that, pretty much plays itself, and any puzzle type things are so easy a cat can do it. And as far as story goes, it's pretty simple, and a lot of the events are fairly predictable, and the ending of the game is kind of underwhelming. But who gives a shit? You get to be a cat. Now, if only someone would make a game where you can be a volcano.